Go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's over. Hey now. It is over. Forget about it. It happens with a Jaguars win, and right, you play the game to win. You don't play to lose. You don't play it because knuckleheads want draft positioning. But the dream is over of Travis Hunter and the Jacksonville Jaguars on the heels of a 20-13 victory. Jacksonville owns Nashville. And you can put that along with a feather in your cap. You take the season series, you sweep them. And that home field advantage, it's pretty incredible here in Duval. They go 2-5 right in our backyard in front of 20,000 plus yesterday. Rain, wind, everything else didn't matter. Guys came out, gave it 110%. They play hard for Doug Peterson. They play hard for Trent Baalke. And let's face the facts. Travis Hunter, the attention would have been phenomenal. But this organization would have screwed that up, okay? They're better off getting a position player, whether it be Will Johnson or whether it be Mason Graham or, you know, if I had any say in this, I go offense. You can't fix it all at once. I look at that kid right now at Arizona, the 6'5" wide receiver, McMillan. Imagine him being out there with Parker Washington in the slot and, oh, yeah, Brian Thomas Jr., a superstar on the other side of the field. That's what I do. I go offense. I know you're going to defense me, and that's allowed. 641-1010 on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. But every once in a while, I think it's cool to be honest with yourself, okay? Pipe dreams are fine. Fiction is fine. Fantasy is fine. Inebriation to the point where it maybe gets you unrealistically thinking about things is fine. But again, this organization would have screwed up Travis Hunter, okay? And I can feel it right now. If he was playing DB, it would have been text after tweet after Facebook, after MySpace, saying, why isn't he a wide receiver? If he played wide receiver, the exact same thing would have been, why isn't he playing defensive back? I think it really would have been a bizarre situation. And Travis Hunter's going to go to a bad football team. All right? If he came here, he was coming to a bad football team. Travis Hunter is going to be under a microscope. And as great as this young man is, and he is a pleasure to watch, I think there's a possibility of it being a nightmare because every single move that the organization makes is going to be second-guessed. He's going to go both ways, but he can't play every down. So do you make him a nickel? Do you have him come in every once in a while? Defensively, I would make him an everyday corner. That would be my deal. And then bring him in for offensive plays whenever you think it is time. But he can't go 60-plus snaps on one side and 60-plus snaps on the other. No one has ever done that in this league. And I don't think it's going to happen here, as talented as this young man is. Certainly I enjoyed the bowl game over the weekend, Colorado and BYU. Those two broadcasters just getting destroyed. If you watched it, they made it all Colorado, and BYU just wiped them right off the surface, and they barely talked about BYU. It was all about Travis Hunter, about all of these Sanders, including Dion, and he continues to be in the news. I really hope that Dion doesn't go the way of the Mannings, the first family of the NFL. Let this thing play itself out. Whoever drafts his son at quarterback, just smile and say, what an honor, and allow him to move on and do things professionally. Don't be like Archie Manning and make a big statement, and don't allow Eli to go to San Diego. Then again, that was the Manning family, and very few people actually criticized them when it did happen. If you remember, they conveniently swept that one under the rug. All right, so it's great to have you with us. What a week. What a week in store. Final days of December, final days of 2024 with you tonight till 8 o'clock, with you tomorrow night on New Year's Eve until 8 o'clock. We'll be off on New Year's Day, then back with you on Thursday and Friday. Of course, a ton of college football continuing today, and it really begins to pick up certainly tomorrow, and then the three playoff games that we do get on Wednesday. Our first playoff game coming up tomorrow night, time permitting. We'll be able to, make our way towards that coming up here a little bit later on in the program. And, I'm excited about this. The football has been daily. That includes the NFL. It has been absolutely spectacular. The Jaguars played a good football game yesterday. They knocked off Tennessee 20-13. I think, for the most part, they did what they had to do against an inferior product. Right? Jacksonville's the better team. They beat them twice now in the last month. But now we sit here and we just kind of wait, right? And you keep checking the watch. You keep checking your phone because this is where we really are, okay? It's 7 minutes past 6 o'clock. I'll be in this chair, I hope, at 7 minutes past 6 o'clock next week in 7 days. And if I come in here at 6:07 and Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke have not been fired, then, brother, you got some serious problems, okay? I mean, it has been spelled out for you. I know that Shad Khan takes the measured approach. I know that Shad Khan is not hands-on. We know that Shad Khan is going to consider everything until he makes up his mind. What is there that you're still looking for as far as intel? You've sat through this season. You've seen everything with very few ups. You've seen tremendous downs. You've seen internal problems. You've seen things that bad football teams do consistently on a week-to-week basis. What more information do you need? Could anything that happens at Indianapolis, where they've caved in, and look at all the mistakes Indy made yesterday, and really an egregious loss for that organization. All of a sudden, they're out of the playoffs, and it's as if they're not playing hard over there. I think that's the one thing that you can credit Doug Peterson and this organization about is they do appear to be playing hard. Now, I don't know if that is always because they're playing hard for their coach. They may be playing hard for their own film, for a job, for the next coach who comes into the Jacksonville Jaguars, or perhaps if they're leaving and there's an opportunity to catch on with another team. I've always been kind of put off by that conversation when it comes to playing hard for someone. I think there are times that really comes into play. Just look at the two schools around here. Florida played hard for Billy Napier, even when they were losing. Okay, maybe that Miami game got a little sketch, but when they got beaten by Texas A&M, when they got blown out by Texas, they played hard, and they turned it around. And they beat LSU, and they beat Mississippi, and they beat Florida State, and they beat Tulane. They flipped a lot of recruits. Now they got momentum heading into the beginning of the year. You'll get Florida State. Those kids went south. They quit. Mike Norvell allowed them to quit. 28 guys sat out of the Orange Bowl. They sucked their thumb the entire year. They played the role of everyone wanting to feel sorry for them. They became the most disliked school in college football because they bitched and bitched and bitched. I bitched. I'll still bitch. I'll never stop because it was awful. But sooner or later, when you're a player, man, you got to get after it. You got to turn the page. The Jaguars turned the page an hour after every Sunday's loss. They're over it. Tennessee Titans, they were over it by, 5 o'clock yesterday. That's just the way it is when you actually play the game. Fans, that's a different deal. Fans let it linger. Fans are going to be steamed, all right? That's why Nick Saban is wrong. It's about the only time I've ever heard Nick Saban is wrong when he made that big deal last year that the players and the coaches care so much more than the fans, and Who cares if the fan says something from his mama's basement in his underwear? They don't care as much as that. Wrong. Nick Saban is completely wrong. The fans care much more than the players. The fans care much more than the coaches. Why do you think they go from team to team to team to team? And you haven't gotten over it. And we don't expect you to get over it. But that needs to be said. So when I say they're playing hard for Doug Peterson, they're playing hard. I don't know if they're playing hard for him or if they're just playing hard because that's what they do as professionals. I don't know. Give me your opinion on that. Again, the best way to join us, 641-1010, brought to you by the good folks at Lifetime Enclosures. Shad Khan is not a good football man. Shad Khan is a brilliant businessman. He has made billions. Billions and billions and billions and billions and billions. I have no idea what he has done as far as buying companies, being involved in merger of companies, taking over companies that are not doing well, bringing in the right people to make it work or perhaps sell it off. Yeah, I worked for Paul Allen at one point in my life, the late Paul Allen. He owned like 150 companies. I think he owned the Seattle Seahawks, and I think he owned the Portland Trailblazers. He owned everything. He owned the Sporting News. Sporting News Radio couldn't compete with ESPN Radio and Fox Radio. Why? Because ESPN had TV, Fox had TV. It was a great run. But when we got caught up in all that offshore betting and they sued the Sporting News for like $11 million, time was up. And Paul Allen was like, that's it. I'm getting out of here. I'm a businessman. This company is losing way, way, way too much money. It's time for me to move along. Shad Khan, I'm sure, has seen businesses that he has owned all of a sudden take a turn for the worse. What does he do? Sit there? Let it play itself out? No. He fixes it. He sells it or he fixes it. That's what I have to believe he has done. Now, bottom line for Shad, he bought it for $770 million. It's worth more than $4 billion. So he's made so much money. Is that the most important thing to Shad Khan? It really feels like it is. He got the stadium deal done. You're never going to have to worry again for the remainder of your life as to whether or not this organization is going to pack up and leave. But now it's about the product on the field, the identity of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a business decision for Shad Khan. He cannot keep Doug Peterson. He cannot keep Trent Baalke. He is going to damage severely his fan base. I have heard this forever. Coach, player, quarterback, general manager, offensive, defensive coordinator. Anyone in this business has heard it. It sounds a little bit like this. If you don't make a replacement with Mr. X, I'm not buying season tickets anymore. That's it. I'm done. I love it. I laugh to that yearly because I know how you wired. And you're going to get through January and February, March, and all of a sudden it's April, and it's the draft. And all of a sudden it's May, and then all of a sudden you got these mini camps popping up. And guess what? You all come back. Every single one of you returns. They're taking a knee. You all come back. This year, for the first time, I finally believe that some of you are going to leave. If Trent Baalke is still leading this organization, I think that some of you are going to leave. It is bad business. There's no other way to say it. Bad business. And Shad Khan has to understand that with his fan base. Will he get it? Brother, I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on it with anyone's money. You could drop $10K on this table right now and say, come on, Ballou, spit it out. What's going to happen in 7 days? What's going to happen here on Black Monday? If I had 10 grand, I'd say Peterson is gone. Baalke survives. That is what I would do, but I'm not a betting man. You may be. Oh, man, I got to tell you, I hope I am wrong. I really do. I mean, I just cannot imagine an off season for you people if things do not change. I'll still have the energy. I'll still find a way to bring it, okay, because it's what I do. But I got to tell you something right now. You have got to be kidding me if he does not make these moves. And, you know, I would love to say, and it would be a lie, so I won't. But I almost think for radio, it may be cool if he kept him, because the entire city would go crazy, just go absolutely insane. And I think it would be good for us here. But I don't want that. Trust me, I don't want that. I don't want it for you. Again, I don't care about the players. I don't care about the coaches. They come and they go. They come and they go. They come and they go. I cared about the longtime Jaguar fans, 30 years who have been wrapped into this thing. That's who I always am going to care about. But I wouldn't bet on it right now. And there's all sorts of mixed messages out there. It's pretty hilarious. I mean, people are just grasping for straws. Here's the deal. No one knows. No one knows. Albert Breer comes out with some stuff. What was it? Jonathan Jones comes out with some stuff. People don't know. It's guesswork at best. I've been saying forever that I think Bulky survives it. I don't know that. It is my opinion, okay? It is a massive gut feeling. It is based on a lot of people. I've talked to about everyone that I know about this. And I'll tell you, a lot of friends of mine, a lot of colleagues of mine think I'm insane, think I'm crazy. There's no way he's going to survive this. But I've seen it over the last 4 or 5 weeks try to, almost take a little bit of a, you may be right, Ballou. He may survive this. And this is not an ego deal, believe me. This is not going to be one of those deals where I'm going to walk around with a, see, I told you so. Trent Baalke's in the year of Shad Khan. Trent Baalke stays. That is the last thing I want. I want to be drunk by 6:30. I'm going to sneak in a bottle. Okay, we snuck in bottles when you went to games at Doak Campbell Stadium and everywhere else. You brought in the cheap rum and the cheap vodka. I want to tell you something right now. If that happens next Monday, I'm sneaking booze into the studio. Okay, and I'm getting after it two-fisted. I'll be 3 sheets to the wind by 6:30 because I'll be so happy for you people. And that needs to happen. But I just don't know if anyone can get to Shad Khan. Is anyone going to say anything to him? I don't know the answer. Oh, my goodness, to that question. All right, opening comments tonight and every night are brought to you by the good folks at Shmunez Vision. Had a couple of nice conversations with Dr. Neil Shmunez earlier today, and they, just like so many other good folks here in town, do wish you a very happy new year, but please make it a safe new year. If you're out there partying, by all means, do so. Just make sure you have a designated driver. They are also introducing Dr. John Hunt, newest member of the Shmunez family. He's a general ophthalmologist, okay, special interest in functional and cosmetic eyelid surgery, along with Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. Neo Shmunez. He's talking about more than 30 years worth of experience when talking about laser eye surgery, cataract surgery. Regardless of what it may be, it is so incredibly important for you. The older we get, the worse our eyes get. The later in the day, your eyes are not nearly as strong right now as they were when you were up earlier in the morning. Why not go to the very best in town? Why not go to a practice that actually does care about you? That's Shmunez Vision. Cared about me. I went in there 8.5 years ago. They told me I needed surgery the next morning, performed by Dr. Neil Shmunez. Now whenever I go in and see him, he looks at my eye. I always get great news. It's really kind of cool to be under the care of people like that. And that's exactly what you're going to get over at Shmunez Vision. Check them out online, Shmunez Vision. Also get all of the testimonials. That'll be at Shmunez Vision on Instagram. All right, when we come back, let's bring in our buddy JJ LaSelva. Let's talk about the Jaguars' 20-13 victory against the Titans. And let me ask you this. Are you able to enjoy yourself? Are you able to enjoy the holidays? Now, when you're with family and friends, that's one thing, right? That's a good time. But when you're going through your normal day and you're going through into the night and you start thinking about Jacksonville Jaguar football, are you able to enjoy yourself knowing 1 week out, we have no idea what this owner is going to do? That's an honest question that I am asking. Love to get your response.
Relive the best moments from the weekend's games.
That's what superstars do.
Post-game Monday.
Expert analysis of Sunday's game all day.
Brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lot bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Hi, it's Ben, second generation from Beard's Diamonds. Guys, if you're popping a question soon, looking for an anniversary gift, before you buy anywhere, shop Beard's. From a half carat to 10 carats, Beard's will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Hey, John, are you a small business owner looking to make the most of your investments?
Absolutely. And now is the time to take advantage of some incredible tax deductions.
You can qualify for a 2024 tax deduction for up to 60% of the purchase price of a brand new Cadillac.
Think Escalade, Lyric, Optic, XT5, and XT6.
We have over 100 in stock at Rainy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. It's the perfect time to upgrade your business fleet.
This is not tax advice. Consult with your tax advisor for further details and to determine eligibility, plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all and approved credit.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bucks out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Walls. The Nimnicht Outdoor Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning, 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality product. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but incredibly functional for me and Beau Valentine. Call today to Schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com. And be sure to check out their end-of-year sale, including 18-month special financing. Closets by Design.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey here. Listen, I'm all about a sure thing. I like putting my money down knowing I'm going to win, and that's exactly what Awaken 180 was for me, a sure bet. I dropped 25 pounds in just over a month, and let me tell you, the results speak for themselves. Now, imagine this. You start Awaken 180 now, and when February rolls around, you've already lost 20 pounds. Or maybe you're like Matt Hayes, down 40 pounds by March. And don't even get me started on Hacker. Dude's lost over 100 pounds. Life-changing results, and I got to see it firsthand. Awaken 180 isn't some gimmick. You eat, you're never starving, and the weight just comes off fast. No guesswork, no crash diets, just a plan that works. And the best part, it's built to last thanks to free support for life. Don't wait for another failed resolution. Start your new year with the program that is the sure bet. Visit awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Make sure this year is the year you win big with Awaken 180.
Make a resolution this new year to send all of your friends or family a Kuhn Flowers floral arrangement. ET here with Tintin XL. Okay, how about sending just one person you love a floral arrangement? Kuhn Flowers can handle it.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, every Monday night around 6:30, program brought to you by the good folks over at Miller Electric. Heard an awful lot today about what is the most attractive NFL job. And we're going to get into a conversation on Ben Johnson. It feels like it's the Bears or the Jaguars. And one of the things that is always stated about the Jaguars is they have the top facilities in all of the NFL. Of course, that is the Miller Electric Center. Well, that same fine company right now, they are hiring at Miller Electric. 96-plus years in Jacksonville. They take on the biggest projects in the city, offering you a chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. They also believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. No matter where you go in the city, you will see that we are building. I mean, Duval is building. People want to move here. Gosh, where I live, Bartram, take a look at Racetrack. Take a look at Phillips Highway from like Bayard south, heading towards St. Augustine. They're just putting up all sorts of stuff. So no matter where it is, Miller Electric, they have their fingerprints all over it. And again, the best way for you to go if you're considering a career change is applied today at Miller Careers. That's Miller Careers. JJ LaSelva is here.
Yo.
Big weekend.
A big weekend coming up. Or I guess a big week in football coming up.
Yeah.
The games are on. Tomorrow we got a game. I'll be at dinner and work here.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know who the geniuses are that thought, well, I guess the same geniuses that run all of college football, but the ones that decided, let's put one of the most important games of the season on New Year's Eve because no one's doing anything that day. No one has to go out. Nobody is forced by their wife to go to dinner/bars.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, just another screw up among many in the world of college football.
They can't get anything right.
No.
They need a czar. They need a commissioner. They need massive change, no matter what it is. We did have a final that rolled in moments ago. Missouri, a 27-24 victory over Iowa at the Music City Bowl. But
Did you hear what happened in that game?
I heard you guys talking about it. I was driving in. What actually did take place?
Real quick, with like 3 minutes left, Iowa's down 3. It's 4th and 2, and they punted.
What?
Yes. They did get the ball back, so I guess it, quote, worked, but just the most Iowa of Iowa punts I've ever seen in my life. Very Kirk Ferency.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, some good games tomorrow. Alabama, Michigan at noon. All right, 2 o'clock, Louisville and UW.
I like that.
South Carolina and Illinois. South Carolina's had a really good year. That'll be in Orlando. The Bama-Michigan game is in Tampa. El Paso for Louisville and the University of Washington. Baylor and LSU in Houston. And then tomorrow night at 7:30 from Glendale, Arizona, Penn State, Boise State, the first of the 4 quarterfinal playoff games. Penn State, a huge favorite here, 11 points, the total 53.5.
Do you think out of all of the 4 games, what do you think is the most likeliest upset? I'm guessing it's not this one. Although people love Genty. That was your guy. You voted him number 1 on the Heisman.
Yeah. I don't know who's playing in the Alabama-Michigan game.
Oh, I was talking about the playoff games.
Oh, the 4 playoff games. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for Oregon to win for a second time, even though Ohio State is a small favorite there.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of see through that as well. I don't give Arizona State a lot of love here, but I would admit out of the 8 teams that are playing, that is the club that I have watched the least. I've actually watched quite a bit of Boise State.
They're on late. They're on like Friday nights. Yeah. I tried to tell you about this guy, Cam Scadavo, because I've watched one Arizona State game, and it was the championship a couple weeks ago. This guy's talking crap now. So he's the big, white Mike Allstott type running back that it just trucks through everyone. He came out today with a great quote. There's nobody out there that can stop me.
Love it.
And Texas is the number 1 defense in the land. So I can't wait for just that. I'm glad that something has me interested in that game because I really didn't care about it at all until then. Tomorrow night, I think, will be a blowout. But, yeah, the juicy one, Ohio State, Oregon. I cannot wait for that.
Penn State's such a good defense, and including a rushing defense against the best, ball carrier in all of college football. I think he needs 138 yards in order to break that record. That's going to be tough sledding for Boise State in him, especially if they find themselves trailing in the second half and they become a one-dimensional football team. But, when we get into the divisional round of the NFL playoffs and when we get into Championship Sunday, the spread is always 7 points or less. It's typically 3 points or less. These first 2 games are still a little bit misleading. I mean, Penn State favored by 11 over Boise State, and Texas favored by 13 over Arizona State. You would think it'd be a little bit more like the final 2 games where the Buckeyes are favored by 2.5 against Oregon, and Georgia's a 1-point favorite against Notre Dame.
And I think that's going to change next year's playoffs because of that. We had Brett McMurphy, who's real connected with everything going on in the college football world. He came out today and said there will be, quote, in-depth discussions about not guaranteeing conference champs top 4 playoff seeds next year. So they're still locked in to have the 5 conference champs get in, but now they're saying the rankings would be, or like their seeding would be by ranking.
Yeah.
So this year we'd have like Oregon 1, Georgia 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4, instead of like the Arizona States and the Boise States getting bye weeks, which is totally ruined the second round.
Remember the Bowl Championship Series? It seems like every year after the games they would tweak it. Something would go wrong, and they'd say, let's not allow this to happen in consecutive years.
2000, it was like, hey, let's take out whatever they'd call it, however bad you beat the other teams. Because that was
margin of victory.
Margin of victory. Because Florida State and Miami had the exact same record. Miami beat them head-to-head, but Florida State just pounded people that year. So, like, in that part of the BCS, they were ranked way ahead of Miami. And they took that out, like, immediately. But, yeah, they always tried to mess with it.
The bowl system, used to have all those lock-ins to the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl. And then, you had the Coalition and the Alliance. They tried to make some changes there. And I have to go back and re-look at them. But once they did form the Bowl Championship Series, headed up by the former czar of the SEC, Roy Kramer, it felt like almost yearly. Once they were wrapped up, they were making some changes. We've heard forever in the NFL, is it time to not guarantee a home game for a divisional winner? And this year, you can look at the AFC South as an example and say, why does Houston deserve to get home field in the first round? And, of course, they went from 4 byes to 2 byes in the NFL. They will do this in college football, and I read the piece that McMurphy came out with earlier today. What's probably going to happen here is, again, what you said, they'll rank it by the top 4 ranked teams, but it will still be 5 conference champions will get in. They're just not all guaranteed to get a bye.
Yeah, so in this case...
Or there was 4 who got a bye this year out of the 5.
Exactly. So in this case, this year it's the top 4 conference champions get those byes. So Clemson wasn't ranked ahead of Boise State and Arizona State. Next year they're saying, throw all that out the window. You'll still get an automatic bid if you win the Big 12, but you're not locked into a bye week. So the teams that win these crappy conferences, the ACC, the Big 12, whatever, they're going to get in still, but they're going to have to play in the first round, which it always should have been like that.
The whole quarterback situation is really interesting. I'm going to come back and talk about that a little bit. Also get into Ben Johnson with the Bears. Some reports that came out today basically said that if the Bears want Ben Johnson, they're going to have to move along from Ryan Poles, their general manager. Of course, all the talk here has been about Trent Baalke forever, and it will continue to be about Trent Baalke until we find out next Monday whether or not he survives all this. But I love the top quarterbacks. I love the deal coming out of Colorado. Sanders just got killed. I don't know if you watched that game against BYU. He had he's been sacked, I think, 96 times in 2 years at Colorado behind a really bad offensive line. So you have the situation there with Dion and his son. You have Cam Ward playing a half. How's that going to affect him? You have Carson Beck, who announced over the weekend that he is coming out. Todd McShay just ripped that decision, said it was a mistake. And then you have the whole Quinn Ewers deal where right now you can bet on where he'll be next year. Can you imagine being 36 hours away from playing in the quarterfinal round of the NCAA playoffs? And Arch Manning says, I'm not going anywhere. The feeling at Texas is, Ewers, go pro or find another school. It is just amazing that this is happening right now in college football. So when we come back, let's make our way towards a little bit of that. And the whole Ben Johnson conversation is really startling because it just feels like right now for this football team in this franchise, it's Ben Johnson or bust. And if they do not get Ben Johnson, where is Jacksonville going to go for their next head coach? We got much more to do with you tonight till 8 o'clock. If you want to join the conversation, the best way to get on in, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. While other books make promises, MyBookie delivers. This holiday season, they're stacking the deck in your favor with 12 days of Christmas now through the 31st, a festive lineup of can't-miss opportunities for bettors to cash in. Risk-free Thursdays, super boosts, and free bets. Weekly casino giveaways with hundreds of winners and thousands in cash prizes. All it takes is a 50-cent spin on BetSoft slots to enter. With the road to New Orleans, bowl games galore, and a Christmas Day sports feast featuring NFL action and an NBA doubleheader, this is your season to win. The 12 Days of Christmas event is live right now. Lock in today. Use my code 1010XL with your first deposit, and MyBookie will give you a little extra to start your holiday hot. MyBookie is offering a 50% deposit bonus for 1010XL listeners. Just sign up and use promo code 1010XL. There's a reason MyBookie has been the go-to for serious bettors for 10 years. Make your holiday season a jolly one with MyBookie.
Huddle up this season at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. Enjoy their famous wings, new cocktails, and happy hour deals at the perfect spot to catch all the football action. Escape the ordinary. HurricaneWings.com.
Post
Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit barrorthopedics.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Making a difference in our community for 2025? Paul Martinez here, President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida. The Boys and Girls Clubs offers a safe environment to youth every day with homework assistance, a hot meal, career readiness, and character and leadership programs. 57% of club alumni say the Boys and Girls Club saved their lives. Help us grow our outreach as we serve the kids in our community throughout our 59 clubs. Go to bgcnf.org to donate and learn more.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 30th, 2018, Patrick Mahomes becomes the only second quarterback in NFL history to throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, steering the Chiefs' win over the Raiders.
How far is it to the center of the earth? The answer next.
With hurricane season now here, the only weather you need to be concerned about is whether your homeowner's insurance policy will cover you in the event of storm damage. Ask about Southern Oak Insurance today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Since the earth is 7,900 miles wide, digging to the center is about 4,000 miles deep.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppable bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppable, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
I've just been feeling so sluggish lately. You should try the Metamucil 2-Week Challenge. The Metamucil 2-Week Challenge? Yeah, Metamucil 4-in-1 Fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Start your daily routine now, and in 2 weeks, you could be feeling great. Well, it's been 2 weeks. How you feeling? Lighter and feeling great.
If you want to feel lighter by promoting digestive health, sign up to take the 2-week challenge at Metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Fred Taylor on the rookie season success of Brian Thomas Jr.
I actually reached out to Cortez Hankton last night, one of our former Jaguar, my former teammate, Coach Tez down there, LSU wide receivers coach, one of the highest paid receiver coaches across the college landscape. He's doing an amazing job of developing these young men. And his response when I told him congratulations was like, no, Brian is an amazing kid. He deserves everything. He's a hard worker, and he's really like that. He really has the upside potential to go out there and be one of the best.
Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist Fred Taylor this morning on The Drill with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update. I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Jacksonville winner yesterday, 20-13 against divisional rival Tennessee. They pick up their 4th win of the season, and they do fall in the NFL draft. They will now select 5th. That is where it would come in right now. New England at 3-13 would go 1, Tennessee 2. So quite a flip there after the Jaguars have taken 2 from Tennessee in the last month. Cleveland 3-13 is at 3. Then it's the Giants at number 4, a winner yesterday, but still a record of 3-13. Jacksonville is 5th, and they, because of strength of schedule and the lack thereof, even though Carolina, the New York Jets, Las Vegas, and Chicago all have only 4 wins, the Jaguars have the worst strength of schedule ranking, I guess is what I would say. Therefore, they do select 5th. But what is really interesting is all of a sudden you look at this game against Indianapolis where it came out last night that the Colts are a 6-point home favorite. Although I read a lot of stuff out of Indianapolis today, and apparently the feeling here is that they just quit. I mean, egregious mistakes yesterday, 2 really bad interceptions, some bad penalties. They allowed a kick return. They just made massive mistakes. You know, if the Jaguars win this game and get to 5-12, I mean, they could very easily end up drafting 8th, 9th, or 10th. So, again, it's hard. It's easy to say, go lose a football game. It's hard for the players to actually play towards that for their own reasons. First off, they do have a lot of pride, and secondly, the film doesn't lie. You just don't go out and bow your head and try to lose football games. Doug Peterson, Trent Baalke do their best to try to win these games consecutively before the end of the year, albeit I have to believe that Shad Khan's mind is made up. And they could win 48-0. They could lose 48-0. I still think Shad knows what he is going to do coming up 1 week from Monday. So that'll be Black Monday right here. And expect a lot of changes around the NFL. All right. I do want to save that Ben Johnson comment for the top of the hour because I think that is very intriguing, and we should really dive into that. It feels like he is now able to pick his job, and he's going to want, reportedly, a general manager that he is aware of, coming in with someone, not coming in where there's a guy already in place, like Ryan Poles in Chicago and Trent Baalke here. But, again, and he's not talking about it. Obviously, he's running the Detroit Lions, who play tonight, right? In Detroit, Monday Night Football.
They do a meaningless game because win or lose, they play on Sunday against the Vikings for first overall seed in the NFC.
And San Fran's out of it. So
there's really not a lot going on next weekend with the NFL, which is a shame. There's not a lot to play for whatsoever. Some seeding, but really all the teams that are in are already locked in. I hate the last, all the divisions are pretty much locked up except one game. They got to kind of do away with the waiting, these, double division games at the end of the year. I hate. They just played Tennessee a few weeks ago. And then why does it always have to be a division game the last week of the season? I don't know. It really hasn't been a very exciting regular season to me in the NFL.
Yeah, there's not a lot left out there outside of Miami, outside of Cincinnati.
And Cincinnati, you expect, won't get in because Kansas City's not going to play anybody.
Nope.
So they're playing Denver. Denver is basically playing a backup team to get into the playoffs, which I don't really have an NFL team, but, man, I would really like to see Burrow and company in the playoffs as opposed to Bo Nix. Who, obviously would lose in their first round.
That one touchdown pass he threw, though, was amazing.
What
an absolute cannon by Bo Nix. And I tell you another team that I got to give a lot of credit to. How about Tampa Bay this year?
Their offense, man.
They'll score with anyone. Baker Mayfield, I think, has thrown 39 touchdown passes.
That guy Cohen is on a lot of lists I've seen for a next head coach. Somewhere.
No doubt. Absolutely. They have a plus 109 margin as far as scoring, yet they're only 9-7. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. You look at Let's take a look at Houston, who's 9-7. They have a point differential of -9. So that's like 120-something, what did I say it was? Plus 109. And that's a difference of 118 points. Same record, but a difference of 118 points more scored by Tampa Bay this year in a very difficult, I don't want to say a very difficult division. The NFC South is probably the second easiest division behind the AFC South, but certainly Tampa Bay is playing some really good football. I kind of would like, selfishly, to see Mike Evans get that record, not record, but continue with those 1,000-yard seasons. He needs 85 yards.
He missed so much football this year, too.
Yeah, he missed 3 games. And he actually went out early in one of the games.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see here. Let's pull him up. He's at 915. 10 consecutive years of 1,000-plus receiving yards. 65 receptions this year, 915 yards. Right? 85 yards, and he gets it. And I know a lot of people are going to bet on that. I think I would take it. Because I've heard Baker Mayfield say that has been fully aware of this since Mike Evans did come back, and that he's been getting him the football. You look at the last few weeks. Let's see here. Yesterday, 9 receptions, 97 yards. Last week, 8 for 69. The week prior to that, it was 11 for 159. 5 for 69, 12 for 118. The last 5 games, he has absolutely been on fire. It looks like he's averaging, I guess, 85, 90, 95 yards a game, somewhere in that particular area.
And they're huge favorites. They're playing the Saints. 14-point favorites right now.
Well, that could be scary too, because if they get a big lead, they could sit him down or just run the football. You never know. That could always be a part of the equation. 73-15, Ballou. I'm not up on how it works, but is it possible that Shad Khan is working some back channels for replacements already? Absolutely. I mean, you hope so.
I would
hope. I mean, tampering would only come into play if, he has gone to someone who's currently a coach and said, are you interested in becoming the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars? You are certainly allowed to investigate. And what I mean by that is, within your inner circle, give me a list of guys that you think Jacksonville should consider as general manager, a list of guys that you think Jacksonville should consider as a head coach. Do I think that Shad Khan has spoken to any of those possible guys? No, not even close, because he's going to abide to the rules. And the Rooney Rule is going to come into place as well, as it should. But I think he's going through the right process. And right now, the right process is just, getting names. Give me a list of 5 head coaches. Give me a list of 5 general managers. Right now, you could probably go out and start to interview some of these general managers, like the New York Jets have done, who are not working for a team. You can go interview Louis Riddick right now. You can go interview Mike Tannenbaum right now. You can go interview Rick Spielman right now. Now, you can't go and make inroads with Ben Johnson because he's under contract of the Detroit Lions.
But you can talk to Vrabel as of today, because he was in his little assistant advisory role with the Browns, which ended today. I don't know why that ended before the season ended, but it did. So
I forgot that he was even in that role.
Me too. So that was all over the Twitter today, that these teams, if they want to, can interview Mike Vrabel starting this afternoon.
The best thing that Jacksonville can hope for is that Chicago makes a big run at Mike Vrabel. I think it's Chicago. I think it's the New York Jets. And do not be surprised with Tom Brady if Las Vegas gets involved with Mike Vrabel. But I would say that I think those are the 3 teams who covet him the most. All of this talk out of Chicago that Ben Johnson and the Bears is probably the number 1 job, the one that he would like most, the one that is most attractive. Jacksonville is there, but again, there's uncertainty with Jacksonville. And, there are so many things to consider. I think Trevor's a better quarterback than Caleb. I think after living 7 years in Illinois, okay, the tax situation is way better here than it is in Illinois. The weather here is way better than it is in Illinois. You've got state-of-the-art, the best facilities that you could ask for in the Miller Electric Center. You got a brand new stadium that is coming. You have some key components to work on offensively, including Brian Thomas Jr. To me, Jacksonville's a better job than Chicago. I also don't think that there is incredible pressure to win here. Okay? There is in Chicago. And it's a different animal. The Bears have been around twice as long, even longer than that. The Bears are one of the original teams. They've been around forever. And they haven't won anything since 1986. Jacksonville's in year 30. I don't want to say they're in their infancy, but they're still a new organization where, you know, the pressure around here can get thick, but it's not like it is in Bears country. And I think that that's something else you have to take a look at. Finally, last thing I'd say about this, does he want to leave and coach in a division that he has just been in? That is something that needs to be discussed that I haven't heard enough people talk about. Houston's going to win this division maybe with a record of 9-8. Jacksonville won this division 2 years ago with a record of 9-8. C.J. Stroud has taken a step back in his second year. You do not know if Anthony Richardson is going to be a quarterback in Indianapolis. Tennessee, for crying out loud, we don't know what's going on with Will Levis. They just try to win a football game again yesterday with a journeyman under center. You have by far the best quarterback as far as potential in a very easy division. Can you imagine going from Detroit to Chicago? Look at this before we hit our break.
Two teams have 13 wins.
Yes. I mean, look at this. The Minnesota's 14-2. Detroit's 13-2. They play tonight. Green Bay's 11-5. And you're going to take over the Chicago Bears?
And you're in
with a record of 4-12?
The most historically crappy franchise ever. Like, I know the Jags are the Jags, but I mean, the Bears are the Bears. And I know you say there's a lot more pressure there. There is, but there's also been so much losing there that you see these guys. I mean, we saw their fan base give excuses for Justin Fields for years. Yeah. So, like, they're used to being losers. So I don't know if there is, like, that crazy amount of pressure that there would be in other major markets just because the Bears are so pathetic. But I'm seeing right now another name thrown into the Bears thing that I think this would be a laughable hire, but it would be perfect for Jacksonville if this happens. So Ryan Poles, who you said there's this controversy now that maybe Johnson won't go there if Poles is the GM. Well, Poles is college teammates with Brian Flores.
Yes, he is.
Who we know has had a great season. After all the things that happened in Miami, he's had a great season as DC for the Vikings, who we were just talking about. So if that ends up being the hire, so Poles can keep his job, so he hires somebody else, I couldn't imagine Johnson wanting to go somewhere else.
Neither can I.
Quarterback-wise. I'm actually shocked that he would go to Caleb over Trevor.
Me too. It feels like Zach Taylor is going to survive this.
Yeah.
So that would be the only one that I would say, okay, that is a more attractive job because of Joe Burrow. But not Caleb Williams. And not on any of these other jobs. Jacksonville, to me, and I know I'm biased, but I try to be so honest, okay? I'm being as honest as I can possibly be. I think it's the best job available. I really believe so. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. 641-1010. Then again, we don't know for sure if that job is going to open.
The game where every yard counts. One player's performance stands out.
That's what you want from a leader.
Universal Roofing Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game.
Touchdown, what a throw.
On 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey, Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
AC replacement? If your AC unit is ready to go kaput, then it's time to call Florida Home AC. With over $3,000 in tax credits waiting for you on select systems, take advantage of it. Call 777-4300. Get Florida Home AC to cool you off.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Andersen, energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. The first 50 customers get a free TrueScreen upgrade, but this offer expires December 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hacker here, and for the first time in nearly 20 years, I finally get to have a different resolution. Like most of you, mine was always to lose weight. I'd try something for a few weeks, maybe lose a pound or two, and then give up. Well, I tried. Starting the new year with Awaken 180 isn't a try. It's a sure thing. And why will you stick with it? Because instead of a pound or two, you'll see results right out of the gate. We all need motivation. After my first 3 weeks with Awaken 180, I was already down 30 pounds. Granted, I had a lot of weight to lose, but look at Dempsey, look at Matt Hayes. Those guys had results out of the gate too. Dempsey dropped 9 pounds his first week, Matt dropped 12 pounds. Regardless of the weight you need to drop, seeing those fast results will motivate you to reach your goal. Guys, girls, losing losing weight, regardless of how many times you've tried, is possible with Awaken 180. Make the sure bet and make 2025 the last time losing weight is your New Year's resolution. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
This holiday season, send someone you love a beautiful arrangement from Kuhn Flowers. Frank Frangie here, and I know that when you order from Kuhn, you'll show them how much you care. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, let's get ready for our second hour. 641-1010. Getting a lot of good stuff tonight on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That includes 5262, which says, if we do snag Ben Johnson, does he pick the defensive coordinator? Well, I hope so. I don't know if this is even old school, but my way of thinking is really simple when it comes to this. Your general manager selects the players. He brings in the free agents. He cuts guys that are on the active roster. He is responsible for the NFL draft. Your head coach hires his coaches. He hires his offensive and defensive and special teams coordinator and position coaches. That to me is the way it's supposed to be. Now, let's be honest about this. When I say about when I say about adding players and cutting players and drafting players, obviously the input is going to be there from your head coach. You don't want one guy who's so hard-headed that it doesn't matter what anyone else says, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You hope that you develop a very good relationship where when you ask for an opinion on this offensive player, your head coach, your offensive coordinator, position coach, whatever, that it adds to your thinking. But when it comes down to it, you are going to be the one who ends up making the decision. It's got to be a complete combined effort. And we saw that phase within the NFL. Was it Mike Holmgren who wanted to call all the shots? I think it was, it was Ron Wolf in Green Bay, where he left and went to Seattle because he wanted to be the acting general manager as well as the head coach. And I want to say that right after he left, Mike McCarthy came in, and that Ron Wolf gave him more credit to actually make decisions that involve the team. So, mistakes are made and egos come into play. And that was also a time where that was happening all over the place. It was happening here with Tom Coughlin. It was happening with Bill Parcells. It was happening with Bill Belichick. I think for the most part, those days are done. We've learned that they're 80-plus hour a week jobs, each responsibility. How you win in this league is to have individuals who are so good at their job that when they get together, they can agree upon something. And obviously there's going to be differences in opinion. But when it comes down to it, it's the GM who says, no, we're going to cut this guy. Okay, he costs too much money. We have to move along from him. So we need the draft for that particular position. And it's the head coach who says, well, I want this guy to be my linebacker coach. I want this guy to be my defensive backs coach. And I'm kind of old school in that, but that's the way I look at it. You feel the same way, or are you different with that?
I like the GM making the hires. I don't, especially a guy that has just been a OC his entire career. If it was Bill Belichick coming in, I would let him do all the hiring. But because it's, a guy who has no experience as a head coach, I would probably want to hire the GM first and have him, because you're just not going to know what to do. I mean, who to hire. You don't live in that world at all. We even see it with like a head coach who's been in the league forever with Doug Peterson. He's like, I'm so hands off with the defense. I have no idea what's going on over there, basically.
Yeah.
So if he can't hire a good DC, why the hell would I trust Ben Johnson to?
Mm-hmm. It's a fair point. What if on Monday, a week from today, everything gets blown up?
Balky and Peterson.
They're all gone. And the next thing that we hear is that the Jaguars are interviewing Ray Agnew. Okay, Ray Agnew, I forget his title, but he is higher up in the Detroit Lions organization. I actually remember Ray Agnew as a first-round draft pick playing for the New England Patriots. He's
assistant GM.
Yeah, he's thought of very highly there. Mike Disner is another. That's one thing that I have said before, and it hasn't created a lot of reaction. Used to be great back in the days with the media guides, with the books that they would hand you. I know everything today is online, so I guess you could look it up. But just go to front offices through the NFL. Look at all 32 teams. Look at these successful franchises, consistent franchises, and look at all of the front office jobs and responsibility. And then look at Jacksonville. It's amazing. They are so understaffed. And it's a losing franchise. And I don't believe it's because this is a way that Shad Khan is trying to be a bean counter, right? Save a little bit of cash here, No, I don't believe that. I think it's the ego. I think Dave Cobble didn't want a lot of people around him. Trent Baalke doesn't want a lot of people around him. Yet you go to a place like Detroit, you're talking about two guys now, Mike Disner and Ray Agnew, both being considered to be general managers somewhere else. It's just larger in numbers. It feels like Jacksonville has a pro personnel director, they have a scouting director, and they have some scouts. When instead, you need to create jobs. You need to create titles. So everything we've been talking about, when it comes down to making a huge decision about what you're going to do with your roster, whether it's cutting your own players because of salary cap reasons, whether it's adding this player as a free agent, or what do you do in the draft? You need more people in your building that you can trust, that you can bounce ideas off of. And I think where Jacksonville is bigger is in that whole analytic department, which I still don't really understand. I think that's the best way for me to say it. It's Cleveland, right? Now, Cleveland remains one of the most losing organizations in all of the NFL, but look what Cleveland did. Cleveland basically said, forget about it when it comes to football people, right? Said, we're going to go hire guys from Harvard. We're going to go hire guys from Yale that are the smartest in their class, bring them in, go with algorithms, go with this, go with that, and then put things together that way to try to become a winner. It hasn't worked yet for the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if it will ever work. It worked with Billy Ball in Oakland, right? It's worked to some extent with some of these sports. I think you need that part of it, but wouldn't you rather have a guy that was born and raised in the ditch, a practice player, been through it all, knows the game, has a feeling for the game, who's going to make these decisions? I know I would. And you got that combine coming up the end of February. So much is based on the workouts, but can you really look at a guy and tell that he is a football player compared to being a workout warrior? To me, that is all. And I don't know if the analytic guys are going to get that, nor are they paid to get that. They're probably there to give you information, numbers-wise, that supports this guy over that guy. Where I'm still from, I'm still cut from the cloth that says, give me a guy that maybe isn't as fast, but is truly a football player. This is hard. That's what it comes down to. This is a brutal profession. For a year, I've had people say to me, fire Baalke, fire Baalke, fire Baalke. Okay. Who do you get? All of you can tell me Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, a month ago, Bill Belichick. You can all do that. Who's the GM? Quick. You can hire anyone in the world to run this team. Who are you going to pick? There's like no names because you very rarely take a current general manager and just take them and snatch them and bring them in. It's an understudy. Okay. Gene Smith learned here. Promote him. Go get Dave Caldwell, head of pro player personnel in Atlanta on a Thomas Dimitroff. Bring him in. Make him a first-time coordinator. Or it's a retread. Trent Baalke did it in San Francisco. Trent Baalke was out of the game for 4 years. You bring him back in. Caldwell does, pro personnel. Then he gets the interim. Then he gets the job. But if I just threw out to you Rick Spielman, who comes in here every year with his podcast or whatever, or Mike Tannenbaum, or Scott Pioli, I can kind of envision you right now drive and grab the steering and go, nah, that doesn't work for me. Nah, that. How hard is it? I mean, this is a brutal job, trying to be a general manager. And, you know, you need some luck. I tell you what you need. You need a quarterback. You cannot win in this league without a quarterback. How about Thomas Dimitroff? He was fired a couple of years ago in Atlanta. He's one of 4 guys that we know of so far that has interviewed for the vacant New York Jets job. If I was to say to you, Shad Khan needs to bring in Thomas Dimitroff, okay, to interview for this job, how many people are going to say, are you kidding me? They blew that lead in the Super Bowl. They didn't run the ball. Is that Dimitroff's fault? Was that Thomas Dimitroff's fault that they were up 28-3 and they did not run the football? He would have been a Super Bowl winning general manager. It was a colossal failure by the Atlanta Falcons coaching staff, and the best player in the world led the New England Patriots back. Thomas Dimitroff built a Super Bowl football team and had a quarterback in Matt Ryan. But I feel like I got the temperature of the city. Thomas Dimitroff isn't doing really anything for you right now, is it? It's a hard gig. It's a hard gig, JJ. Find the right general manager. I mean, they're not out there as candidates the way the coaches are.
No, like you said, it's usually somebody in-house or an assistant or something like that. And then when it comes to that, us fans and media or radio producers, I know nothing about that. Like, yeah, I just, you could tell me anything about.
Very few do.
Oh, this, like, I get it. This guy is the, you know, who you just said, he's the assistant GM for the Lions. It's like, are we only picking these guys because the Lions are good now?
Yeah.
Like, do we know that he's good at what he does? Like, how much does an assistant GM really do? I have no freaking idea about this stuff. And you know who else has no idea? Shad Khan. And he's going to be the one doing the hiring because he doesn't have a VP, EVP, or a right-hand guy, a football guy. It's just, it's almost like throwing a dart at a dartboard, man, like with your eyes closed. It's good luck.
I think everything in the NFL is contagious. I would look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would look at the Kansas City Chiefs. I would look at the Philadelphia Eagles. I would look at, obviously, the Detroit Lions. I would look at the organizations recently that are among the very best. And again, look at the size of the Kansas City Chiefs staff as far as their front compared to Jacksonville.
It dwarfs Jacksonville.
I mean, I did this exercise like a year ago, and things may have changed, but far more as far as numbers. So, you know, that's where you don't go pull a coordinator to be your head coach from a losing franchise, right? You pull the hot coordinator, the hot offense. Remember when this team was winning? Remember in its infancy? Kevin Gilbride, gone. Chris Palmer, gone. Dick Duran, gone. Offensive who am I thinking? Don Capers, gone. Right? They started hiring offensive and defensive coordinators, and this team was having success, so other organizations came and plucked them and said, look at what he's doing in Jacksonville. Let's go get him. Jacksonville very well may go that route with Aaron Glenn. They may go that route. Obviously, Ben Johnson is the most talked about name right now.
Yeah, no one's going for the Patriots assistant general manager at the moment.
No, Todd Monken, was a one-time wide receiver coach here. Joe Brady is a name. Liam Cohen, we've talked a lot about. These are the names. But what do all these names have in common? Right? They haven't done it. They have not done it. And would you rather do that or go get a Cliff Kingsbury? Ron Rivera interviewing today with the New York Jets. Again, I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what Jaguar fans are feeling. My guess is that Ron Rivera does nothing for you. That'd be just my guess.
Oh, my God.
That's just my guess. Okay? Again, whether I'm right or wrong, go ahead and give it to us at 641-1010 on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Yeah, here's a guy mentioned in Light out in Tampa. He stays on the field. You see that story on him? How he literally stays on the field now? Tampa Bay's general manager after COVID. That it's really, you know what? I'll spend a minute on that in the other side. We got much more to do. Take you up until 8 o'clock right here on this Monday.
Even the best teams can lose steam when their best players end up on the sidelines.
In case you haven't noticed, our receiver corps is decimated.
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update.
Jacksonville. It's part of the game, though,
On 1010XL.
Rev up your life with luxury at Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard. This is the best time of year to buy a pre-owned Corvette. Used car prices are 12% lower than their peak in April of 2022. And Vaughn Motor Group has the best prices and selection right now. Come see why Vaughn Motor Group sells more Corvettes than anyone in the area. Stop in or call to start driving your dream car. Complete inventory listing online. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Monahan Jewelers is ending the year with up to 40% off the entire store. Special savings on designer brands and some items marked at 50 to 60% off. We've been adding new merchandise throughout the holidays, and with interest-free financing on any purchase, it's easy to get a beautiful piece for a low monthly payment. Certified diamonds and engagement rings are our specialty. Support your local family jeweler for 47 years. It's our end-of-the-year sale with up to 40% off our entire inventory and some items marked at 50 to 60% off. Visit Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Ballou for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
It's a force that can't be contained, propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect.
When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it.
You make power plays.
Aim for fences and go for end zones.
You believe that your moment is now. At Farah and Farah, we deliver game day energy 24/7.
If you've been injured, put our force to work for you. Jacksonville.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 30th, 2018, Patrick Mahomes becomes the only second quarterback in NFL history to throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns during the Chiefs' win over the Raiders.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
I've just been feeling so sluggish lately. You should try the Metamucil 2-week challenge. The Metamucil 2-week challenge? Yeah, Metamucil 4-in-1 fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Start your daily routine now, and in 2 weeks, you could be feeling great. Well, it's been 2 weeks. How you feeling? Lighter and feeling great.
If you want to feel lighter by promoting digestive health, sign up to take the 2-week challenge at Metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Prosser here, and the Fed has dropped rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low 5s for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6%, or if you're in the process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000, lower rates and lower fees. So get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. It's Loan Pronto. Call them at 904-999-1508, or you can visit loanpronto.com. That's Loan Pronto at 904-999-1508, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Jags Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projacksroofingfl.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
With you tonight till 8, tomorrow night till 8, then off on Wednesday. Game 1 of the quarterfinals tomorrow night. Boise and Penn State. Then we get a treat on Wednesday. 3 games. Going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. No doubt about it. I mentioned Todd Monken. He doesn't get mentioned as prominently as some others, but he's been around some winners as of late. Was he in Tampa when Brady won it? I know that was Byron Leftwich. He might have been gone. He might have left and then went over to Cleveland. But he was at Georgia as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, currently in his second year now in Baltimore. Yeah, I remember when he was here. And, you know, I'll never forget this. I want to say Todd Monken was here when I got back. I got back in 2006 after leaving after the AFC Championship game in 2000.
2007 and 2010.
Okay. He was here. And then he went off to Oklahoma State. And I remember doing an interview with him to talk about Justin Blackmon. And I'll never forget him telling me that he takes plays off that, you know, you would expect when you would have and he was not the head coach at Oklahoma State, obviously. He was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State. He may have been the quarterback's coach as well at Oklahoma State. But I thought that you would get the canned, you're getting the best wide receiver. This guy can do this guy can do that. But Todd Monken was like, well, he doesn't always run his routes when he knows the ball's not coming in his direction. He'll take plays off. And I remember kind of re-asking it because I thought it was a very interesting answer. Typically, college game to pro, all you do is support and brag about your players, especially when you're a high first-round pick the way that Blackman was. But, boy, did he ever end up being right. And Blackman, for those of you who are old enough to remember, was ridiculously talented. He just didn't have the work ethic. So that was a disappointment. But, yeah, that might have been one of the last times I've had a conversation with Todd Monken. 80-43, Ballou, Monken has the dirtiest mouth ever. Good. Bring him here. I could care less. I can think of a few other coaches around here who've had a dirty mouth. No doubt about that. 88-52, here's the thing. Yes, Ben Johnson got my first choice, but really as long as we get someone in here that can pull out Trevor's full potential, get a head coach in here that will hold these guys accountable and push them, I'm a happy camper. I'm glad you said that. I really am. Because whether it's Ben Johnson or anyone else, I think the most important part of the interview, and it almost feels like with Ben Johnson, it's not an interview. For Ben Johnson, it's an offer. You know what I mean? For the others, like a Todd Monken and these other, it's certainly a long interview. Try to figure out what they do well, what are their thoughts on this. But to me, the number one part of the new hire has to be an offensive guy. And it has to be someone who looks at Shad Khan and says, give me Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to make Trevor Lawrence a Super Bowl winning quarterback. If you have the same guy who's like, well, I've watched the film and it looks like he's hesitant here and I don't know if we can get him to do this and, it's going to be a long process to get it. It's like, just X him out right away and say, see ya. Get a coach who is so convinced, because coaches' egos are second to none. I've never met a coach, a real successful coach, who doesn't think that he is the best coach. And by the way, that's the way you should be wired. Doesn't mean you can't accept authority that is delegated to you if you're a coordinator or position coach. But the way that you're wired, and frankly, that should be the way it is in so many jobs, so many professions, right? You got to believe that you're the best at what you do. Coaches are absolutely that way. I want a coach walking through that door, going to Shad Khan and say, listen, give me Trevor Lawrence. This kid's incredible. I'm going to make this kid a winner. I don't care if he's 22-38 as a starter. Watch this. I'm going to make Trevor Lawrence a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Can you find that guy? If that guy's Liam Cohen, if that guy is Todd Monken, if that guy's Joe Brady, if that guy's Cliff Kingsbury, and he comes in with that attitude, that's me. That is a huge selling point. I'm glad you said that. The 88-52. 5602, Davis Webb. Look into him. Look what he's done with Bo Nix. I've had a few on Davis Webb over the last month or so. Ballou, I like Louis Riddick. I'm not sure if he gets the interviews because of a Rooney rule. You know who Louis Riddick's cousin is?
No idea.
Aaron Beasley. Played golf with him twice last week. Louis Riddick has a plush job. He is with the NFL Network. He calls games, or I guess he's ESPN now.
Yeah.
Calls games, does all this stuff. But I do believe if the right offer came, Louis Riddick would take it in a heartbeat. Here's the only concern that I would have for Louis Riddick. I think he absolutely understands the game, but he's been out of it for like 10 years.
It'll be 12 next year.
Is it really 12 years?
So his last season was with the Eagles as the director of pro personnel, and that was 2013. And I think we do this. Just we see guys on TV, And like you said, we don't know anything about any of these GMs or associate GMs. So we're just like, hey, that's a guy that talks on TV that seems like he knows about the game. He should be good. And like, is Louis Riddick even, is he a real candidate? Or is this just something that we say? I'm not sure.
This is where I miss the late David Lamb. David Lamb and I used to have conversations about this all the time, especially off air. How important is a coach? How important? David Lamb used to maintain that any manager can go out there and be a baseball manager for 100 and I think he would say 120 games a year, and that the other 42 games, you're going to win. You're going to win 60. You're going to lose 60. It's the last 42 that comes down to great managerial skills. And I totally disagreed with him. I thought managing in baseball is huge.
It used to be a lot more in the National League, with pitchers hitting and everything, but
Double
it's a lot
switch.
less. But I think it's more games than 40, but I get his where he's going on that one. Baseball, to me, is the least important out of all the coaches. I'll say that.
Here's a guy, 2959, said Mike Mayock. Yeah, it didn't work out, did it? And I miss Mike Mayock.
TV
I
guy,
loved his draft talk. I loved his draft analysis. I think Jeremiah does a real good job. I thought my buddy Todd McShay does a real good job. If these guys were so good, though, wouldn't they head up a team?
Yeah, why have they not been doing anything for 11 years?
The whole thing is that Mel Kiper comes up with this and Todd McShay comes up with that. But if they were really that good, they would be leading the organization of one of 32 teams. Now, we've seen example where guys like Mike Mayock, and it didn't work out. There's no guarantee. We're so quick to say that there's no guarantee with first-round quarterbacks. Just look at them. Just look at the list. I'll be honest with you. This year's crop, I'm glad Jacksonville's not in that category. It's a huge year for Trevor. It's year 5, and he better start to really move forward. But I still like Cam the best. I do. Sanders, but can you get an accurate feeling for Sanders when he got sacked 96 times in 2 years at Colorado? And then it's what? Ewers and Beck. I just don't know. Jackson don't have to worry about that. By the way, I shouldn't have played golf Saturday with Beasley. I've been fighting this cold ever since. It was brutal out there.
Oh, you're blaming the weather, not him.
For the bag. No, I didn't. I'm talking about just for the sickness.
Yeah, he didn't give you the sickness.
No.
Okay.
Oh, it was clearly the weather. Clearly the weather. But, I was really feeling it today, and I was like, man, if I just know my limits. I know what I can get away with and what I can't get away with, and unfortunately, you can count on one hand these sick days that I've ever taken. If I was calling off sick today, it would have been, Ballou had 40 Falstaffs yesterday. He can't roll into work today after the holiday. So I was
celebrating that Jags victory a little too much last night.
So instead, I just gave me an extra dose of NyQuil, and I'm trying to stay awake during this show. As soon as I get home, man, I'm going to throw on this game, take some melatonin and more NyQuil, and I'm thinking by 11 o'clock tonight, I'll have a blonde on one arm and a brunette on the other, because I'm going to be REMing, bro. I'm going to be
NyQuil,
dreaming.
Man.
NyQuil rules.
Whoa, NyQuil is one of the best drugs I've ever done.
Love NyQuil.
Yeah. Are the Lions playing starters tonight? It appears like they are, but it just seems dumb.
Yeah.
Like this game tonight, it's unwatchable for me. Especially if we find out that Goff and none of these dudes are playing. I mean, there's no reason to. They can lose tonight, and they still have to win on Sunday.
It's probably going to be an early night for me anyway.
Yeah. You got to get ready for Listen, tomorrow night, that's the big one.
Oh, yeah. Got
to be up, got to be ready. And I'm not talking about New Year's Eve. I'm talking about Boise State, Penn State.
No doubt. 96-94, get Bucky Brooks to be the GM. Bucky does a real good job with his draft analysis. Here's another one for Baselli. Rick, the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars should be Warren Buffett. He's pretty good at picking them.
Wow.
Okay. 5105. Now, the Baselli one here.
Warren Buffett.
It's so hard. It is. It's hard in every sport. I mean, I watch my Boston Bruins fire Bruce Cassidy because veteran says he was coaching too hard. Cassidy leaves and wins the Stanley Cup the next year in Las Vegas. The Bruins fired Jim Montgomery, who was 140-40. Okay, yet Don Sweeney's the guy who's calling all the shots. Everyone in Boston's like, why is the general manager still around? Oh, Boston wins every year. Boston's a 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed. They just can't get it done in the playoffs. Is that the general manager's fault? Whose fault it is a wonderful conversation. I'm surprised there's actually not a little bit more bulky support. He's drafted some quality players. His free agency class this year was a disaster. Okay? I mean, there's no support. Mitch Morris has been okay, but Gabe Davis, Darnell Savage, Eric Armstead, Devin Duvernay, Ronald Darby. I mean, he failed miserably. But still, I mean, he is the guy that got Brian Thomas Jr., and he was, what, the fourth or fifth wide receiver selected?
He got draft capital for it.
He certainly did. Yeah, he deserves a little bit of credit for that. The Mason Smith story is still bizarre. He all of a sudden is playing his best football. He had another sack yesterday. He missed 3 games because of an ankle, but he also missed 3 games as a healthy scratch. And, you know, that was going back to kind of, is there really something going on here? Why isn't Peterson playing Mason Smith? Why is he scratching him? He's a second-round pick.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that was bulky versus Peterson.
Yeah.
But then you hear him saying stuff like, I wasn't eating right, or... So maybe he was just being a fat ass, and the coaching staff was like, this is unprofessional, we're not playing you. So maybe that's what it was. The whole time I always thought it was like a power struggle between Balky and Peterson, but it might just be as simple as a rookie who doesn't know how to be a professional yet had to be taught how to be a professional.
There's a fair point. Never forget when Jalen got selected, he like set out a tweet of like some Kit Kat bars and like a Crustable and some Reese's Pieces. He's like, my dinner tonight. And,
oh, my God.
And everyone was like, what? You got the training table. You got all the free food that you could get, and you can certainly afford to go out and get yourself something nutritious.
Right.
I mean, you're a world-class athlete. All that stuff we've learned since grammar school about, you know, the food groups and what you put into your body, yet some people still don't do it. And, yeah, that apparently was a problem earlier this year.
Well, to be fair to Jalen, that food pyramid they used to show us is complete BS.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at it now, you're like, holy crap.
Right.
They wanted to kill everyone in America.
With all the bread?
Yes, so much bread. And they're like, oh, fruit and veggies, have a little bit.
Milk.
Yeah, so much bread, milk, just like terrible for you.
Just crush milk and just, you know, put a piece of bread between your knees. Yeah. Yeah. We have learned a little bit as time has pushed forward. All right. I cannot believe, speaking of time pushing forward,
yeah,
we are almost out of here for this Monday edition. We will be back tomorrow night, 6 to 8. And Hacker, he's coming up in just a little bit.
Sometimes winning and losing comes down to one play. There's only one performance painting, high performance play of the game on 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. While other books make promises, MyBookie delivers. This holiday season, they're stacking the deck in your favor with 12 days of Christmas now through the 31st, a festive lineup of can't-miss opportunities for bettors to cash in. Risk-free Thursdays, super boosts, and free bets. Weekly casino giveaways with hundreds of winners and thousands in cash prizes. All it takes is a 50-cent spin on BetSoft slots to enter. With the road to New Orleans, bowl games galore, and a Christmas Day sports feast featuring NFL action and an NBA doubleheader, this is your season to win. The 12 Days of Christmas event is live right now. Lock in today. Use my code 1010XL with your first deposit, and MyBookie will give you a little extra to start your holiday hot. MyBookie is offering a 50% deposit bonus for 1010XL listeners. Just sign up and use promo code 1010XL. There's a reason MyBookie has been the go-to for serious bettors for 10 years. Make your holiday season a jolly one with MyBookie.
Integrity, persistence, and standing up for victims. It's what you want in a personal injury case and what my friend and lawyer Glenn Cohen brings to every case for over 40 years. Call Glenn at Barnes & Cohen.
Jeff Lagerman here. Now that football season is here, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASC certified professionals at any of the 27 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions, and more. Napa Auto Care offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find a Napa Auto Care Center near you. JacksNapaAutoCareGroup.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I, for one, like a sure bet. Putting my money up, knowing I'll win. That's why I bet on Awaken 180. It was a sure thing, and the results proved it to all of us. Start your new year out knowing you'll reach your goal. Awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL is the home of Gator Nation and the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. I'm Hacker, and we keep you connected with the University of Florida all year long. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Brian Thomas Jr. once again showed his dominance on Sunday. The phenomenal one recorded 91 yards on 7 receptions and had a touchdown in what was a remarkable showing. BTJ has been the MVP for this ball club and is your Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
This holiday season, Universal Roof and Contracting is making it easy to check roof repairs off your list. Get 15% off roof repairs or replacement, plus a $250 gift card to brighten your holiday shopping. Get flexible financing with payments as low as $150 a month and free roof inspections. Secure your home and your savings today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Well, we head to the final week of the year. It's week 18, game 17 for the Jags. They do knock off Tennessee 20-13. They do fall to number 5 in the NFL draft order with a week to go. And depending on whether or not they win or lose, they could be anywhere from, let's say 4 to 9 would be, I think, an honest assessment. They're a 6-point underdog at Indianapolis, but boy, there's a lot of negativity coming out of Indy right now. Just a tremendous amount. Feels like that team kind of quit yesterday. So, Coach Steichen with some interesting words today. The media is up in arms there. So it kind of feels like, I know that it's split and maybe even more towards the latter when it comes to losing as opposed to winning. But almost feels like Jacksonville's going to win this game. That Indy's completely given up after getting knocked out of the playoffs. But we'll see. We got all week to kind of look at that game coming up on Sunday. Let's end with this. It's actually it's a very good one as we get so many solid comments here from the listeners at night. The 2959, is the GM actually scouting, or is he going off the word of coaches in the scouting department? I don't think it's a perfect science. It's like being a head coach, right? There are head coaches who are so hands-on, call plays. There are others who oversee absolutely everything, allow their offensive coordinator to call plays, their defense coordinator to call plays. A general manager, I do know for sure, has always been responsible for the first-round pick. Now, around here, when it was Trevor Lawrence, they said it was Shad Khan's pick, right? Notice you didn't hear too much of that the year later when it became Trayvon Walker. Interesting how that dimension turned 180 in the course of 1 year. The GM is always going to make your first-round pick, but you absolutely have to trust your scouts and your ahead of college football scouting when it comes to the college game. And I think college scouts right now, for the most part, for every single team, they've done their work. You can make the case that a little something could change with these bowl games. And by the time you get to the East-West Shrine and
Senior Bowl,
and you get to the NFL Combine, I still believe this is what I've been told. The scouts have done their work. All of their information is reported, and it's in the files. It's then the general manager with the coaches evaluating everything that is going on at the the 3 examples that I gave you. It doesn't mean that scouts are still not called upon, but most of their, just about all of their road work is done, and that's why, used to see this all the time at Florida State games when you work in a press box. You will see on any given Saturday, whether it's here, for any top-notch college program, that you'll see a lot of scouts visiting from different NFL teams because that's their job. They're on the road going across the country scouting the college kids live and in person and then, filing their reports back to the GM. But I don't think it's a perfect science. I think every general manager probably does things differently, just like every head coach does things differently. That's it for us. I'm not, don't have the opportunity to get to all of you tonight on the text line. I apologize, but we had plenty. As always, I do thank you for that. Hackers coming up next. Again, tomorrow night, we're with you from 6 to 8. Look forward to it. We'll get ready for that playoff game and much more on the Jags. For JJ LaSelva, I'm Rick Ballou. We'll talk